You can go beyond the recency, frequency, and value segmentation by adding your own factors that are really important to you as your organization. Say you're an event-based organization. You could put in measurements, for instance, that really quantify how often people attend your event. And I was talking to one person recently, and they have a really neat system where they're essentially, through a printed invitation system, as I understand it, they can scan people into their events, and that seamlessly creates a record of who attended that event, and they can start to get at information like this. So in this case, donor A hasn't come to any events, they don't get any points. And donor B, who really hasn't given as large a gifts, because we saw back here in this donor A, they scored higher because they've been given $1,000 gifts. But donor B has really attended a lot of events, and so we're able to give them a score. So essentially what this process does is you can add up all those using Excel, for instance. You can certainly set up simple functions that will add up your score, and you can start to distinguish the difference in prospects. So you might have a possible score of 25, and you could break those scores into different segments. Now, here's the key to going beyond the data geeks that some of us are in prospect development, to actually operationalize that business intelligence, or I like to think of it, that donor insight. And how to operationalize it is, okay, the people that really score high, for instance, everybody that is in the same segment as donor B, one of the things you can do is set up trigger events. So if anybody in that segment makes a gift, then here are the 1, 2, 3 steps that are going to take place. The idea to create consistent, repeatable treatment of the donors so that they are recognized that, well, here's some people that have really stepped up. Another example of how we can go beyond just the data here and actually start to create value for our organization. I mentioned the trigger events, but the other example is once we've segmented our prospect pool, and you can take those scores if you want and say everybody from 1 to 10 goes into segment A, everybody from 11 to 15 goes into segment B. Well, the key that you can start to do is figure out, well, how can I then develop interactive communications based upon those segments? And one of the ways you can start to understand how to consider communications is really just to identify the distinguishing characteristics within, say, segment A. For instance, demographics. Are they of a certain age? Is gender a factor? If you're a regional or national nonprofit, is geography a distinguishing characteristic of people who fall into, say, segment A? So the idea is then you can start to target your communications, where you can start to deliver communications that are more value-based, and hopefully we'll get better in nonprofits in creating that feedback loop where it's truly interactive. Because I think the future, if we are going to really succeed as nonprofits, because some nonprofits are going to fall and fail. Funding for nonprofits in Minnesota right now, government funding in recent years has supplied about 50% of funding for charities in Minnesota. Well, that model is going away. And so we're going to have to figure out how can we grow our operation and deliver value to prospects. And so the key that I think to achieving that is creating that feedback loop, truly interactive communication, so that we can go really beyond value segmentation to an opportunity where we can actually start to segment and understand prospects by their needs and interests. That really is the future for communications in fundraising. Thank you very much.